turn this crisis around.
You know, that is not happy talk, Uncle Joe.
I'll give you a winter prediction. It's going to be cold, it's going to be gray, and it's going to last you for the rest of your life.
The former vice president also responded to reporter Peter Ducey when he asked about his crack-addicted and Chinese compromised son, Hunter.
Put that in place.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Merry Christmas, everybody. Thank you.
Do you still think that the stories from the fall about your son Hunter were Russian disinformation?
You still think the stories about your son from the fall that, you know, social media and the mainstream media ignored, are they still real?
Yes, yes, yes. God love you, man. You're a one-horse pony. I tell you. Thank you.
Yeah, you're a one-horse pony. It's kind of redundant, actually. It's like being a one bovine cow or a one idiot Democrat. Coming up, you think Donald Trump lost the election? Charlie Kirk fans say otherwise. Stick around.
Oh, one Democrat idiot.
When I was younger, my hair made me feel really beautiful. When my hair started to thin, it really made me feel old.
I first
The way it feels, it's wonderful.
Reclaim the hair that makes you fully you. Viviscal is the clinically proven #1 selling hair growth supplement that has worked for millions of women of every age and hair type.
I was really surprised by the results. My hair has never grown this fast before, so I was thrilled.
I felt
An increase in hair volume and 94% experience thicker hair.
For my patients with hair loss,
Carson Show, or my video channel, rumble.com, Rob Carson Show. The Fight the Steal movement continued this week as patriots like me continue to say Joe Biden didn't win by a landslide. You know why? Because we're not stupid. A lot of people, particularly young people, feel that way, as evidenced by the reaction Charlie Kirk got from a call from the president this week at the Turning Point USA conference.
This election, we won this election in a landslide. They dropped hundreds of thousands of ballots in each state. It's all documented.
They don't sound like conspiracy theorists. Just saying.
The problem is we need a party that's going to fight, and we have some great Congress.
You mean like the Republican Party should be, but aren't?
Men and women that are doing it, and we have others, some great fighters, but we won this in a landslide. They know it.
Be nice if we had Mitch McConnell on our side, but no, not.
And we need backing from, like, the Justice Department, and other people have to...
Their political appointees.
...finally step up. But I just want to thank Charlie for the support. Charlie's always been there. I watched you the other night with Steve Hilton, who's a great guy, too. And I will tell you, we appreciate it, Charlie.
I watched quite a bit of the Turning Point USA conference, and it made me feel really old, actually. Yeah. And hopeful for the future. Yeah, that. Democrat Senator Jeanne Shaheen says, if you believe the mountain of evidence that Joe Biden did not win, you should be lined up against a wall.
But each of us who are serving as senators took an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States. One of the most...
Oh, that's a good one. That as a Democrat, that is a good one.
Fundamental principles of the Constitution is the peaceful transition of power.
The Constitution, sure, okay, yeah, that thing that you have hanging in the bathroom.
These senators and members of Congress who have refused to acknowledge that we had a free and fair election.
She kind of looks like an angry librarian in your elementary school, doesn't she?
In which Joe Biden beat Donald Trump by over 7 million votes, are bordering on sedition and treason.
Generally, I think the penalty for treason is
that's what I do.
Or if you're a guy having to watch HGTV with your wife every night,
thinking that they are going to overturn.
Blind me up against the wall, ladies and gentlemen. Crazy former TV host and famous person Keith Olbermann.
I don't want to play Jimmy again.
This is Olbermann versus Trump, and I'm not Trump. The breaking details of the Friday night meeting in the Oval Office with conspirators led by Donald Trump.
Man, he has fallen a long way. I think he used to have a TV studio and it wasn't cold outside.
Discuss their prospects of overthrowing the government of the United States in a military coup has left this nation with no other choice. Sadly, it will all fall to President-elect Biden. He must publicly state,
former Vice President Joe Biden, according to me,
that on January 20th, his Department of Justice will act to investigate and to arrest anyone planning such a violent
He's very dramatic, isn't he?
Overthrow of the government. The president-elect...
I'm thinking stealing an election is kind of an overthrow of the government.
They need to identify by name Sidney Powell, the delusional, lying and series of lawsuits.
He's not going to capitalize
she's going to show us her Kraken, and I'm still waiting. That really sounded weird.
Intended to end democracy here, who Trump proposes to make special counsel to investigate the election. The president-elect may also...
I think you need a special counselor, to be quite honest. And you need to up your meds.
Need to identify by name General Michael Flynn, who also attended this seditious meeting and who has publicly called for the imposition of martial law to overturn the election. And the president-elect may need to identify by name the man who, because he merely wants Trump to issue an executive order seizing all the voting machines, was the moderate in the room, Rudy Giuliani.
Wow. Just wow. And by the way, Oswald killed JFK. Just you should know for your next episode. That's it. A lot of folks are lining up for the COVID vaccine, but it looks like some people on TV are just posers. Here's a report from an El Paso TV station that clearly shows the vaccine recipient didn't get it.
Now in the video, you can see the UMC healthcare worker with his sleeve rolled up. But when it comes time for the injection, look at the top of
this is kind of like when I played doctor when I was a kid, but we won't get into the details.
Syringe. It appears the person administering the shots doesn't really push down on the plunger. It actually looks like the plunger is already depressed. Now, our viewers wondering whether the worker received the vaccine.
I'm saying no.
Now, for comparison, here is a look at one of the other injections.
This is not for the squeamish.
Administered just moments later to a woman. And you can see this plunger is clearly pushed down all the way.
Now, I'm not an anti-vaxxer, and I am not a conspiracy theorist. Believe it or not, I'm not an Alex Jones fan, to be quite honest. But here is the former vice president, Joe Biden, getting his, and the nurse's hand conveniently getting in the way.
All right.
Former Vice President Biden, have you considered an arm waxing?
No, you just go ahead anytime you're ready.
There's the needle. There's the hand. You cannot see the needle now. And you get a SpongeBob sticker for not crying. So no big deal, right? You know, I don't know about you guys, but when I do shots, everybody knows about it.
Couldn't I click on
Dr. Deborah Birx is retiring because she told you couldn't go to Thanksgiving, and then she went to Thanksgiving with her family. Stick around, guys.
What the?
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and as you know, my passion is to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. That's why I created my new Giza Dreams bed sheets. I guarantee you they'll be the most comfortable sheets you'll ever own.
With the Giza Dream Sheets, I'm getting the best sleep of my life.
Ooh.
I do not like my sheets. I love my Giza
Do not
Dream
like
Sheets.
them, Samurai.
I started by using the world's best cotton called Giza.
Uh-oh.
It's only grown in a region between the Sahara Desert, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Nile River. It's ultra soft and breathable, but extremely durable. My Giza sheets also include full 21-inch wide pillowcases that will fit over any pillow and deep pocket sheets that will fit over any mattress. I guarantee you the first night you sleep on my sheets, you'll never want to sleep on anything else.
My Pillow Giza Dream Sheets are available in a variety of
Bro, I can't
colors
click on
and
them.
will be the softest, most comfortable sheets you will ever own.
I don't want to
Call
put
or
it
go
on
to
my phone.
mypillow.com right now to take advantage of Mike's limited time
I
offer.
don't put it on
Use
my
the
phone.
promo code on the screen, and when you buy one set of Giza Dream Sheets, Mike will send you another set absolutely free. That's right, buy one set of Giza Dream Sheets and get another set absolutely free. Giza Dreams are made with the finest, most sought-after cotton in the world.
Do that.
Giza cotton was once reserved for only the
Oh,
finest
no.
dress shirts, but is now available in Mike's Giza Dream Sheets. They feature a beautiful silky sateen weave that helps keep you cool and comfortable all night long. Call or go to mypillow.com right now to take advantage of Mike's limited time offer. Use the promo code on the screen, and when you buy one set of Giza Dream Sheets, Mike will send you another set absolutely free. That's right, buy one set
I
of
guess I'll
Giza
go
Dream
back.
Sheets and get another set
I was
absolutely
so
free.
lucky.
Choose from a variety of colors in solid, stripes, and new flannel sheets. Order now.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit
Damn, that's not a video.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital was founded over 50 years ago with the dream of curing childhood cancer. Our mission brings people together as partners in hope to help save thousands of lives.
I'm at St. Jude because I have a brain tumor called a pineoblastoma. The hardest part of cancer is knowing that you have it.
Before I came to St. Jude, I couldn't walk, I couldn't talk, I couldn't move.
Okay. Why did Mike? Watch that bishop. Oh shit. From the deck. Okay. Who's that? Queen time. Oh no. Oh, that's very low. Oh, that's not good. Turn stuff around. That's okay. What am I doing with my... Oh, I need to protect my queen. Easy mode is probably not going to do anything if I do that. Oh god, still right there. Don't want to do that. Maybe put bishop instead of queen.
Months. My parents have been isolated for 10 months.
Yeah, and I've actually got a 15-year-old in the other room who's been isolated for 10 months. Not fun. Not fun. I don't have a second house in Delaware. I'm thinking hypocrisy is really contagious with Democrats. Bars and restaurants have been some of the hardest hit businesses in the country from nonsensical COVID shutdowns, but some are fighting back, like this one in Minnesota.
Far from a secretive speakeasy.
Not going to hear that at a bar in San Francisco.
Images from Alibi Drinkery in Lakeville show people packed together in defiance of the governor's order, watching him.
All those people are dead and they don't even know it.
Talk about the latest restrictions on the bar.
Actually, no, they're pretty much fine.
TV sets as the co-owner beams with pride.
I can't tell you how many people stopped and shook my hand and said thank you for allowing
Death Trap owner
me to be here and for allowing us to.
Can I get some potato skins with the death thing?
Able to feel normal again.
To me, it's like driving 105 miles an hour in the residential neighborhood.
Attorney General Keith Ellison, whose mother died from COVID-19, has
I don't know what else
and we're sorry for your loss.
Alibi and Neighbors in Princeton, which also opened Wednesday, asking a judge for a temporary restraining order to shut their doors, as he's done with other bars that have opened in defiance during the pandemic.
He's got his mask on wrong. Hello?
And by the way, we have not lost one single case that we brought.
It's because you're the government, and these are small businesses that have no money to pay for expensive lawyers.
We're 100%. We're batting 1,000. Because
we're putting out businesses out of business by the thousands.
We try to work with people, and all we want is compliance.
All we want is compliance. All you have to do is everything we say and lose everything you own and go out of business, and that's all we're asking for. That's all you're asking for. Yeah. You'd think the judges would protect and defend the Constitution, since that's part of their oath, but apparently not so much. Christmas is over, but the big toy that was in short supply this year, and my son didn't get one, was the PS5 gaming system in Charlotte, North Carolina. 2 women did a little amateur MMA action over one. You remember when people used to interrupt fights and help people out? Now you gotta tape it and share it on social media.
Ha!
Mom, you're embarrassing me. But you are gonna get me the PS5. Right?
Yeah.
Oh boy. Where's the referee when you need it? Just another day at Walmart. Oh. And she's out. That's a forfeit. Wow. And finally, for those who perhaps have forgotten why Donald Trump was elected originally and why 74 million of us still believe he's won this one, and I do, this is one of the cooler video montages of the election season this year. We'll wrap things up with this. Enjoy.
How does it secondly go through this? Oh, I mean.
So much more now than it did in my senior year in high school.
This is actually really good.
I don't recall any fighting flotillas.
Well, now he's blocking like him for me. This sucks. Yeah. Get rid of one of his looks. And then if he takes my knight, I can kill him. Oh man, that rook's gonna be a pain in the ass. I'm gonna not take his pawn. Take all these pawns. It's not like I need my queen here. Let's find out.
Put your hands together. All right, that's pretty cool. You must admit, unless you're a Democrat, then not so much. Yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for joining me. I hope you had a blessed Christmas, and I hope and pray for you in 2021, and most certainly I pray for our country and Donald Trump, our next president. Have a glorious week. I'll see you again soon. And above all, ladies and gentlemen, don't catch the stupid.
y'all, welcome to Diamond and Silk Crystal Clear with your host Diamond and Silk Gold Silk.
Yeah, I'm not in the mood for Diamond and Silk.
Beautiful New Year.
Yeah.
And we are now
I'm running out of memory already.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everyone. Yeah. So let's just start this off with the President Trump signing the stimulus and the omnibus bill. Okay. And some people are having a few reservations about that.
What is that?
What I need people to understand, Silk, is that the president is the president of the United States. He's United States.
So
And
does
his
my
job
enemy.
is to make sure that the American people are protected. And we're still in the midst of a pandemic. And you have people that's been out of work for 30-some weeks, haven't gotten anything. And so they have to be able to survive too. That's right. So his job is to make sure that these people, we look out for these people. That's okay, right. All right. So he signed the stimulus bill, and he said it's his responsibility to protect the people of this country from this pandemic, which was caused by China. Okay. China. He also, as the president, he's demanding many rescissions under the Empowerment Control Act of 1974. Okay. So that means that Congress have 45 days to get all of this pork and stuff out of the bill. Now, I know that the $2,000 was like a standalone. Okay. And so you had Congress, the House, they passed it, but now it's stuck in the Senate. And I believe the Senate is wishy-washy. I don't know what they're doing. Maybe the Senate is acting the way they're acting because they are afraid that the Democrats don't want to take out the pork. Because some of the Democrats say that they're not going to take out the pork. Okay. You see what I'm saying? But can we just piggyback on the pork? Let's piggyback on the pork. I just got something to say about this. Okay. So now, they talk about they want to stimulate the economy. Right. But they want to allocate $1.3 billion to study whether Americans will eat grounded up bugs. Why would we want to eat bugs? Why would I be grounded up bugs? Well, you know they're trying to alter our food, so I guess they want us to figure out how we're going to eat bugs now. And how many millions are they putting in? 1.3 million to study whether Americans will eat grounded up bugs. I wonder if the bugs going to be fried or baked or see, that's silly right there. That's silly.
Back to losing it.
Here's another.
Chess.
$1.5 million to walk lizards on treadmills.
What just happened?
They can give me the 1.5 million. I'm the one that needs to be on the treadmill. Yeah. I mean, this is crazy. 1.5 million. Okay.
I don't want to lose my
on the treadmill. How is that going to stimulate this economy? Okay. See, that is waste fraud to me and abuse. Yeah. And will the lizard have on a sweatband? I have no idea. But I need to wear one. Wait, come on. 4.5 million to spray bobcat urine on alcoholic rats. What is that supposed to do for the rat? The rat is that going
Move him so he doesn't die.
coming in the house? But see, this kind of stuff don't make no sense. And you know who I blame? I blame Republicans and Democrats. Yeah. Because
How did he move sideways? Oh, because he killed nothing.
It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make now this is the crazy thing. Yeah. So you got
Let me click on my nightmare.
Trip about $2,000, right? But they was the same ones, along with the Democrats, that was willing to give Americans $600 and then give billions and millions to other countries.
Oh wait.
So I say, ain't now party no good. No. Both of you all better get yourselves together. Yeah. Because now
still in the past.
people have to be protected. That's right. You're talking about American taxpayer dollars.
Get away from
Our
me,
American dollars should be used for Americans, not foreign countries or foreign entities or foreign.
I'll kill you with this.
I absolutely agree with you all. So they have to get themselves together. That's right. Right now, we cannot leave the American people hanging. No, we can't act like we don't know. Yeah. We have to make sure that they are protected. And I understand people don't like all of this here spinning. Yeah. I don't like all of this spinning either. But Diamond, wait a minute. When they talk about stimulating the economy, all you got to do is open the economy back up. If these governors will open the economy back up, but they don't want to do. But that's too much like right. They don't want to do nothing like that.
But stuff
they have no problem going to work and stay home. But absolutely. But don't deny other people the right to work and make
Get away from me.
Then you won't have to write all of these stimulus checks for people because now we can go and make our own living. That's right. Okay, I got another bone to pick with somebody before we go to break. Okay, pick the bone. Okay, there was a guy by the name of Jason Johnson, you all.
He's not that
political
stupid.
analyst on MSNBC. Take a look at what he had to say.
And the men and women who are placating the president on this, the men and women in Congress who are pretending that this isn't really an issue, they are now terrorist sympathizers. Because if you can't stand up and see actual acts of violence that are happening in our states about this election, then you're sympathizing with terrorists.
Okay, so you want to call people that want transparency a terrorist. Now, we had Antifa out in the street, Black Lives Matter out in the street, people taking and looting people, burning people's businesses down. Those are not terrorists now. So that was okay. But because we, as Americans, want to know what's going
How about
on
that?
with the system, is questioning the transparency of our voting system, you want to call us terrorists and make it look like we're terrorist sympathizers? That doesn't make sense. And when I look at this here whole system, it looks like a coup done by the left to overthrow the That's what this looks like. When you try to certify a fraudulent election, to me, that's treason. That's right. Now who's the terrorist? And it seems like maybe Jason is being a traitor to the truth. You are a political analyst, Jason. Wouldn't you want to analyze these machines? Analyze this election to make sure it was free and fair? Because the numbers are not adding up. That's right. And then a lot of people seem to have a problem with the word fraud. Right. Well, what else do you all want us to call it? A scam?
Can I kill him with my
What
key?
do you want us to say here? Hoodwink? Deceit?
I guess he wouldn't be able to capture my key.
Swindling people out of legal votes? Here is the deal. What's the deal?
Literally not
cannot move on
able
until we find out what
We can't go anywhere now
this election.
without me
All we're asking for is
winning.
transparency, not to be
I
called
broke it.
We'll be right back for more Diamond and Silk Crystal Clear.
I broke the algorithm. Oh my god.
In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God,
D-Live.
and the Word was God.
What's up, D-Live?
The same was in the beginning with God. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. In him was life, and the life was the light of men.
Download the Pray.com app today.
I'm Drew Berquist for Mammoth Nation. I was a U.S. counterterrorism officer overseas, and now I'm fighting domestic terrorism here at home. The liberal media is spreading disinformation like crazy. The election was rigged, and we're on the verge of socialism. Your vote was stolen, but we can't give up. The Georgia Senate race might be our last hope to save this country. Mammoth Nation is here to support these two candidates and fight for the Conservative Party. You can help us win this. Become a lifetime member today. America needs you.
Now more than ever, it's important to lose weight, improve your health, and strengthen your immunity. Starvation dieting, processed
Not even
foods,
gonna
shakes,
give me my
and diet
win.
gimmicks have made us heavier
Broken.
and sicker. The solution for losing weight the right way is Golo. We help transform your body and change your lifestyle so you can lose weight and get healthier. Over 20,000 people of all ages and entire families switch to Golo every week because Golo works. Golo is a unique approach to weight loss that targets insulin resistance and body fat. Insulin resistance makes it easy
Come
to
on,
gain weight and harder
man.
to lose it. Golo is a patented system that uses natural plants and minerals and sound nutrition to help your body convert fat to energy faster, so you lose weight while improving your health and immunity. Join over 1 million people who found Golo, a smarter way to lose weight. Let Golo help you lose weight and reach
No,
your
it's
health
not
goals
doing anything.
quickly. Head to Golo.com. That's Golo.com.
Balance of Nature's fruit and veggie capsules contain 100% vine-ripened fruits and vegetables, tested pure with no pesticides, fillers, or additives of any kind, and are the most effective whole food
Have to restart
supplements
the whole
on the
animal
market
again.
today. You might ask yourself, how can the daily recommended servings of fruits and vegetables fit into 6 vegetarian capsules? Fruits and vegetables are on average
down the,
85% water. Balance of Nature uses
memory
full
usage
vacuum
while I'm at it.
technology to remove the water, leaving only the whole food. We don't use any heat, air, or light drying methods that damage nutrients. Our cold vacuum technology maintains 99.9% of the fresh fruits and vegetables' original nutritional value. Think about it. Along with diet and exercise, Mother Nature provides fruits and vegetables to help us maintain good health. Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off on any new preferred order. Call or go online to get started today and use discount code NEWSMAX.
Newsmax, you like Newsmax. I like it too.
President Trump is right. Watch Newsmax TV and bypass the big media. Get the truth about Trump from Mike Huckabee, Alan Dershowitz, Michelle Malkin, Sean Spicer, and many more. Newsmax TV is America's fastest growing cable news channel, now in 70 million homes. Find Newsmax on your cable system or download our free app on your smartphone and watch us anywhere, anytime. Newsmax. It's real news for real people.
I would think so.
Well, still, it looks like Dr. Fauci has admitted he's been moving the goalpost on COVID, and he's been doing it on purpose. If you don't believe me, take a look at this.
You acknowledged to the New York Times that you've moved the goalposts in terms of what it would take to reach so-called herd immunity in the United States. Here's what you said. You said when polls said only about half of all Americans would take a vaccine, I was saying herd immunity would take 70 to 75%. Then when newer surveys said 60% or more would take it, I thought I can nudge this up a bit. So I went to 80, 85, and then you go on to say that it may be as high as 90%. So my question is, why weren't you straight with the American people about this to begin with?
No, actually, Dana, I don't think it could be interpreted as being straight or not. We have to realize that we have to be humble and realize what we don't know. These are pure estimates, and the calculations that I made, 70, 75%, it's a range. The range is going to be somewhere between 70 and 85%. The reason I first started saying 70, 75, I brought it up to 85. That's not a big leap to go from 75 to 85. It was really based on calculations and pure extrapolations from measles.
You know, let me tell you why people are very irritated with Dr. Fauci.
This is still lying so bad.
Flops on a lot of things, and people are becoming irritated.
That's why I call him flip-flop Fauci.
Because see, here's the deal. Back in February, he said that we didn't really have to be worried about COVID. We need to be more worried about the flu. Okay, and then in March, he didn't want anyone wearing masks. He said we should wear masks. Now all of a sudden we should wear masks. Remember, the children shouldn't go back to school, but then he flip-flopped on that. And then about the lockdowns, he said what was happening in China, that was like harsh, draconian. And now look at what they want to do to our country. They want to lock it down. So I think people are irritated with him for flip-flopping. And here's the deal. We wouldn't have to have a vaccine if you would have already created herd immunity.
That's right.
You can allow that by allowing people to unmask, go out into society, and go about their way. We would have had herd immunity.
Well, not only that, when you have therapeutic medicines that's being restricted, like hydroxychloroquine, it's being restricted from the American people. Hey, we could have already had what was needed. Right. But in an interview,
bro, what happened now? Game. What the hell?
And partly on his gut feeling.
I don't need you going off your gut.
I can choose it after I beat Jimmy, but it won't let me beat Jimmy.
Because of this one man and his gut.
And I'm not interested in his gut or his intestines.
I'm interested in knowing. I want to know the facts about this here. And if this is not deadly, why can't we go back out into society and get back to normal? That's all I'm saying. Now, according to Forbes.com, there's a new strain of COVID that is emerging, right? So I don't know if they're going to use this again to have us on lockdowns. And people are getting frustrated. If you don't believe me, take a look at this.
Oops.
This guy doesn't get to go do his job all day.
My hands would work properly.
We all have jobs. She can't do hers.
We all have jobs.
Are you able to do yours?
I have a job.
Did the health department come and say, sorry, you can't do your job?
I don't agree with
I still have to fight Jimmy over and over again.
Okay, because I have to provide
I beat him once and then it'll let me choose somebody else. Maybe that reset when I switch device.
Businesses are being shut down, and this is to bring down our economy, is what this is. The billionaires and their corporations that survive.
Jimmy!
And the corporations and stuff the same thing.
Move this so keep running from the microphone.
If abortion clinics can be open, then this person's business can be open. That's right. You know, you stand a 99% chance recovery rate of recovering, okay,
I'll take that.
Versus a 0 chance recovering from
Man, I never pay attention to the
that's 0 chance of recovering. Right. But for a virus,
diagonal.
99%
So I don't like
recovery rate with therapeutic medicine for this particular virus, open back up America.
Let me click on this, damn it.
Open back up America. What did we do for past?
What will you do against that?
I think that any governor that shuts
Jimmy,
down
you suck.
their economy, that shuts down their states, they need to have all of
Do
their
anything with that
assets
now.
frozen, including their pay, until they open it back up.
Let's bring this boy out.
For your livelihood to just be sank and you not have nothing. And then you will stop that foolishness right there.
Sacrifice a rook to kill his rook. Oh no, his bishop's running around.
I mean, I'm not saying COVID's not real. I'm just saying I'm not sick. I'm not sick, and asymptomatic spread has been shown to be a myth. So why am I going to be treated like a sick person? Do you know that there have been fewer deaths overall in 2019 than there were in 2018? Look it up.
Check.
Fewer deaths overall. All they've done is
Other
recategorize all
rook
the deaths.
is gonna
This is not what they're telling us it is. It's a
fuck me
lie.
up.
This is a lie. I'm telling you. It's a lie. And everyone's buying it. And it
When I did that with my pawn, I got screwed.
we comply with it, and I am done.
Let's
Tonight, I reached a breaking
move
point. I'm done.
this out of the
I know
way.
I'm not reaching anyone here. I don't care. I'm not
Pull this out.
I'm not going to. I'm a healthy person.
Doesn't
I'm not
help.
crazy. This is like psychosis.
Put
For everyone to
him
put all
somewhere
this stuff
safe.
on their face
That's
when
not
they're
safe.
healthy is insanity.
That's
It's
safer.
absolute insanity.
What happened?
Go ahead. They can't arrest me because there's
Oh,
no
now I'm
law.
in check.
I'm a healthy person.
How about no?
You know what? Let me tell you what I see here. I see
Alright,
human
then
rights abuses, crimes against humanity, even
I might as well
civil
take
rights
that, right?
violations. That's right. Because let me tell you something. It is against certain people's religion. Certain people, like our religion, we cover our head. We don't cover our face because that means that's shame. When you cover
This
your
one,
face,
this
that's
one.
certain religion. I'm not knocking those that cover their face. Right. But my thing is, if you have on your mask, give me 6 feet. 6 feet. You see what I'm talking about? Then therefore it won't be no confrontation. It won't be no spread.
Whatever.
But if you got your mask on, don't walk up
Get
to
up
me
here.
in a grocery store handing me a mask. You
So
give me my
I
6 feet. You the one scared, or why don't you stay home if you the one
can
scared
win.
of a virus with a 99% recovery rate?
That's right. And in this country, we have choices. Okay? You know, you have
Takes
these
my rook, I'm gonna be
individuals from the left always talk about, you know,
pissed.
whenever they want to
I'm
have
in
an
check
abortion, my
again.
body, my choice. Well, it should be my body, my choice if I want to put on a mask or not on my face. That's right. Okay? I don't think that should be implemented on we, the American people. Right. Our civil liberties are being taken away here.
You are exactly right. And I think somebody needs to step in
He
and
did
stop
the
these
thing.
governors and these people for what they're doing to the American people.
We'll try that again.
Take a look at the nurses, how they're dancing around in the midst of this pandemic.
So I'll put it right here.
Now, I thought that this is supposed to be deadly.
I'll be
This
safe.
is supposed to be dangerous. And I want to commend all of the nurses that's on the front line. But I think that this is out of order.
Doesn't help anything.
I can't gather. If you're seeing all of this death and COVID is so bad, why are you all up there doing the nay-nay and
Rather not lose my
What
fish
is so
too.
funny about this?
Find time to coordinate a dance music.
That's right. I don't get that. And so I'm a little taken aback by this here. I don't understand it. I think it's out of order. And that's my own personal opinion. And I can have a personal opinion in this country. That's right. Coming up
Jimmy's
next,
playing tougher now.
round.
Crap. Yeah, that's right. You better run for my queen.
You're on the go
I
and
got too many
news now.
people targeting
no
that.
paywalls, no cable subscriptions. Just download the Newsmax app from your smartphone store. It's free. And watch Newsmax TV anytime, anywhere.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of MyPillow.
For a limited time, you can get premium My Pillows for the lowest price ever. Regularly $69.98, now only $29.98 with your promo code. That's a $40 savings. 15 years ago, I invented My Pillow. I made sure that you could adjust my patented fill so that you could have the exact support you need as an individual, regardless of your sleep position. I also wanted a pillow that stays healthy, so I made My Pillow machine washable and dryable. I back My Pillow with a 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee. Not only that, I do all my own manufacturing in my home state of Minnesota. I personally guarantee that My Pillow will be the most comfortable pillow you'll ever own.
For a limited time, you can get a premium My Pillow for the lowest price ever. Regularly $69.98, now only $29.98. That's a $40 savings with your promo code. For the best night's sleep in the
Get out of here.
world, visit mypillow.com.
When my hair started to thin, it really made me feel
Kill his rook.
I noticed hair
And
loss
you did
after
to kill his
giving
rook
birth to
a
my
long time
daughter.
ago.
I was feeling pretty
Don't even
hopeless,
let me
and
click on
then
my
I
cane.
decided to do something about it.
Reclaim the hair that makes you fully you.
Oh my
Viviscal is the clinically
God, this
proven
doesn't work on the
#1
emulator
hair growth
apparently.
supplement made for every woman of every hair
I need to
type.
find a new
Viviscal
chest
contains a proprietary collagen complex that promotes the growth and thickness of existing hair. In a study among women, 94% reported thicker hair.
Viviscal is drug-free. It's a supplement that's easy to take, and it works.
And back to feeling like myself again. More hair is awesome.
Order now and we'll send you a 3-month supply of Viviscal, and you'll only pay $39.99, and shipping is free. You'll also get a complete Nourishing Healthy Hair Kit, an $80 value free. If you don't love your results, send back what you don't use and keep the gifts. You can find Viviscal at these retailers, but call or go to tryviviscal.com for this special TV offer.
Tommy Copper's compression apparel provides pain relief all day. Now, we have you covered while you sleep. Experience Tommy Copper's breakthrough recovery sleep system. Fall asleep, stay asleep, wake up refreshed.
As a certified sleep expert, I have never experienced sleep technology this advanced.
Compression support coils provide supportive relief. Copper gel memory foam keeps you cool and comfortable. Go to TommyCopper.com/sleep to order your Tommy Copper sleep system and find premium retailers near you.
Alana is very, very, very energetic. I, of course, any mom would call her an angel.
Let's play Learn Chess with Dr. Wolf. Oh, I thought it said chess with Dr. Wolf. Do I actually get to play, or do I just get to learn? I don't want to learn, I just want to play without crashing. Probably want that. Oh dear. Does this look okay? Landscaping. No, I probably don't think that. Which I could. Rotating. Welcome, I'm Dr. Charles Wolf, and I'm looking forward to teaching you. How would you like to be? I want to play. Excellent, let's. What's your level of experience? Let's just start on beginner. Now, Dr. Wolf will teach you how to teach all you play.
Jay Tapper. Jay looked like he had some things to say about a certain one that we happen to like.
That's right.
Under Dr. Wolf's portrait, there are buttons to ask for a hint
Well, there
under
are
a
some
move
people
and
that
bring
are
up the
such,
menu.
they're just so mendacious,
Build
I just
tap.
wouldn't put them on air.
To go to the homepage,
Kaylee
McEnany, good luck.
I never booked her.
Thank you.
Jason Miller from
White
the Trump
goes
campaign,
first.
I would never book
This is
him.
harder
I mean,
to
these are
see.
just people who they just tell lies the way that, you know, most people breathe.
He got out his night first.
So you know Jake Tapper. His name should be Jake the Fake. That's right. Because not only is he fake, but
I'm gonna
he
get
is
screwed
a
by
liar.
him.
Now,
Just
this
begin
is the
right here.
same man that helped push Russia collusion for almost 3 years. Yeah. 3 years. They were caught up in a lie. They told a lie.
What if you
they
don't do
lied
that?
to the American people. As journalists or whatever they call themselves, they are straight liars, but then they want to point the finger at somebody else and make them a liar. That's right. That's right. They are the straight liars. It doesn't make any sense. Calling somebody a liar when you push the biggest
I really want to do
of
that.
the American people.
Brooks on the same side of the board, because that's, oh shit.
You know what?
I shouldn't have done that.
Even called out for being a liar.
Left a piece hanging.
Even called out for being a liar.
Take me back, Dr. Wolf.
Come back at him.
Oh, did
she replied back.
Alright.
She said, this is a therapy session for a broken network. And Jake Tapper is lazy enough to
This is really hard to see.
lobbying baseless personal attacks
Whoa.
with zero evidence. Jake
I don't remember what that means.
I do not leak. I do not lie. But I do call out the lies of the media, CNN, and Russia collusion.
Just swaps the position, right?
CNN and Russia collusion.
So what it is, Jake don't like to be called out.
Oh,
don't. And
bitch.
because he's being called out, CNN is being called out, you want to call somebody else a liar. No fake Jake. Jake the fake. Jake the fake. The fake is really you. That's right. The fake is really you and your network.
Thanks, Dr. Wolf.
Pushing this foolishness
I still want to undo that.
people, pushing the biggest disinformation
Alright.
campaign on the American people, and ain't
Dark
nobody
Bishop.
doing nothing about it.
Oh.
Where is the FCC?
That's
Why
helpful.
haven't they shut them down? Why? For the disinformation that they've been feeding the American people. Why? Where are they?
Why does it only last for 1 second?
I am getting so tired, Silk, of these
Here, I'll
networks and
move
these so-called
this
journalists
one.
that feel like that they can call other people names. They can call them liars. They can call them grifters. And all of these names. And it seems like nobody wants to do nothing.
Do it, I dare
They
you.
can go and they can tell a lie. They can take an anonymous source and take something from an
Need to
anonymous
remember.
source and make that the truth and spread
Remember
it like
that's a
it's
thing.
true when they know it's nothing but a lie.
And they talk so much trash, it makes me wonder if they went to janitorial.
This guy's a lot harder than Jimmy.
journalism school. Right. Because all they do is lie. I mean, they tell lies day in, day out. 24 hours, 7 days a week, nothing but lie. And then the very thing that they want to blame other people for.
Which one of those is the king?
They should be somewhere in La La Land.
Yeah.
Or really, I don't think they should be on TV.
No.
I don't think they should be on TV. And the mere fact that you're saying something about the press secretary and you want to make her out alive. Look at all of the liars that's been right there on your show, Jake Tapper. Look at them. Look at how you lie.
Gonna get my night.
You can't do that to somebody. You can't just call people liars. Listen,
Fine, I'll take
remember when you point that finger at us,
your night as well.
those other 3 fingers and that thumb is always pointing back at you, Jake.
That's right, Jake the fake. Perhaps he's intimidated by a cow.
Oh, he may be intimidated by her.
He's intimidated by her.
Because she know her stuff.
She know her stuff and she gonna call you out.
Good idea.
And they don't like that. Well, maybe if they got their stuff together,
What just happened?
nobody will have to call them out.
Nothing. That's
they
what.
don't want to get it together. No. What they want to do is they want to continue this here.
Queen with my
Everybody is a liar.
king
If
way.
you agree with the love of this country, standing for the flag, now you got to be a liar. That's what they
What did you just do?
sorry, Jake the fake. You are the liar. And guess what? That's why you
Oh dear, says Mr. Wolf.
are the weak. That's right.
I would like to take the bishop.
You download the Newsmax app. So anytime
That was to be expected.
it's still crystal clear. Hey, you get to see it.
This guy.
Don't forget, just have fun this new year. That's right. We were just
This
coming
guy.
to the 211. We called it 211 because it's 2 of us.
Ah,
So in the meantime,
but I was about to kill that
see
one.
you on next time right here on Dr.
Let's.
Bye bye, everybody. Bye.
Do that. Sure that's what you wanted to do? Got a rook right here. Got both these rooks and a bishop.
Welcome to Star Nation. I'm Michelle Malkin. Our focus today is the year in wrongthink. 2020 was 1984 on steroids. A long Orwellian nightmare of brutal censorship and crushing of dissent in every aspect of our lives. It's hard to get worked up about communist repression of speech in China or socialist tyranny in Venezuela when so many of our own fellow citizens right here in the constitutional Republic of America have been threatened, bullied, and silenced for politically incorrect views. Let's start with our children.
Oh wait, I
Remember
can't kill
those
accidentally.
All-American high school football players
Kill.
suspended
If I
in Ohio for
go
carrying
this
thin blue line and thin red line flags?
and
When the Little Miami football team took the field last Friday, September 11th,
Uh-uh.
some players carried alongside the American flag a thin
this
blue
one.
line flag and a thin red line flag.
Stuff to
Were
get
you trying to make some kind of a
close
political
enough
statement here?
to take them out without getting killed by King.
I was doing it to honor the people that lost their lives 19 years ago.
Then there was the 17-year-old Trump supporter kicked out of his online chemistry class for having a Trump
What
flag
if I
on
move
his
this
wall.
guy all the way up the board?
The first time he just said, Anthony, take it
Say
down.
to me,
Second
what?
time he said it again.
Oh crap.
And added, there's no
Get outta
room for politics in my classroom. And then the third time he said, if you're not going to take it down, I'm going to have to ask you to leave the class for today.
Still got a rook right there.
In June, Kansas State University athletic
You
coaches,
stay right where you
football
are.
players, college Democrats, and administrators all were in protest when 21-year-old Jaden McNeil tweeted a
What?
snarky joke about George Floyd being drug-free for a month.
When did you do?
The university president launched a formal investigation over a joke. Twitter removed Jaden McNeil's
that
joke
last
tweet
one?
for, quote,
Well, yeah,
glorifying
kill that,
violence. He was then banned from
Not a good
PayPal,
idea.
Venmo, and TikTok.
Hey,
Over
read
a
what Mr.
joke.
Wolf's telling you though.
In October, a 10-year-old was booted from his online 6th grade class for praising
wanna
President Trump.
Keep
His
doing
mom
that.
caught the teacher falsely blaming technology for the
What if
expulsion. She called out his bias.
Okay, he said, I admire Donald J. Trump because he is making America great again and because he is the best president the United States of America could ever
this
have.
way
And he
somewhere
built
better.
the wall so terrorists couldn't come in the U.S. Trump is the best person in the world, and that's why I admire him.
Okay.
Hey now.
To me, I didn't think that this was on
That's not
topic
good.
or related
That's
to
my last
our
rook.
prompts. And so I went ahead and just cleared the chat. And I guess didn't appreciate that, and I specifically apologized to there that he was kicked out just because the settings weren't updating. I think it's because he had maybe entered the conference before the settings updated.
Well, the thing is that you said it. I mean, I was there, and I heard your explanation, and I heard what you said about the president. You said that he's a divisive, a hateful person. That is being creating hatefulness.
Oh.
I'm just paraphrasing what you said.
I still got a
but
bishop.
that's
Sure.
why I want to make sure. I want to know if you can upload this conference, and I will have a clear picture what really happened. Because what I heard is not what you explained to me right now.
Just this week, a
I
Pennsylvania
don't
high
have
school
anywhere to put
settled a federal civil rights lawsuit with a 15-year-old
It'll be
sophomore
safe right
who was
there,
suspended
actually.
for wearing Make Liberals Cry Again and Keep America Great shirts and a Women for Trump mask. Trump supporters were purged by the thousands this year
And I can go ahead
from
and take
Facebook,
this.
Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram for backing the blue, for defending Kyle Rittenhouse and supporting the Proud Boys. Newt Gingrich
Where you gonna go?
on Fox News for mentioning
You're gonna go right there.
left-wing character assassins attacked
Yeah, my
conservatives for
queen is
using
stuck
terms like
there.
Wu Flu, the Great Reset,
Oh no.
and the Great Replacement. All
Wouldn't be good, but I could totally take all those
Senate
out now.
candidate Lauren Witzke was suspended on Twitter for opposing mass migration and violent refugee criminals across Europe. A grandmother who knits was banned on the craft site Etsy for selling these Stop the Steal hats. Silicon Valley, Fortune 500 companies donated tens of millions of dollars to Black Lives Matter, but Americans who believe that all lives matter were labeled racist, kicked out of sororities, or lost their jobs, like NBA announcer Grant Napier.
Sunday, DeMarcus Cousins asked Napier his take on Black Lives Matter on Twitter. Napier responded, "All lives matter, every single one." Cousins said, as expected, while Chris Webber added, "We've known who he is," with clown face emojis, before Matt Barnes added in
That was
quote,
a desperate move, boyo.
"Nothing less from a closet racist."
COVID control freaks cracked down on Americans who dared to challenge pandemic orthodoxy. The documentary Plandemic was banned on YouTube in May. The press conference of America's frontline doctors was banned by Facebook,
What you gonna do
YouTube,
though?
and Twitter
Can't do
in
much with
July.
him actually.
Medical professionals who spoke out on the benefits of hydroxychloroquine, vitamin D, sunshine,
That's not
zinc,
very helpful.
exercise, or any other common sense measure to boost health and immunity
Alright, he
was
can't move his
throttled
body
and
anymore.
ostracized online and in the public square. So were parents who dared to question
Get my
the
night
rush
up
to
in.
bring COVID vaccines to market. Most recently, Dr. Zev Zelenko, who created the Zelenko hydroxychloroquine protocol, was suspended from Twitter for peacefully expressing his views. In 2020, we have met the enemy.
Why has it got to be a
Not
draw?
the oppressive Chinese social credit system, but the American one. When we come back, Dr. James Tadaro joins me to review censorship in the age of COVID. Stay with us.
Anything else I can sacrifice? Why can't I do anything?
I know what it's like to have back pain. When I found Inversion, it changed my life forever, and I believe it can change yours.
Well, now he
I'm
can't do
proud
anything.
to introduce the most effective,
There, I'll get
the
you
most
3 ways.
comfortable teeter inversion table ever. The
What?
Teeter Fit Spine. When you invert, your back and spine elongate.
Rookie
With the
is not
pressure off,
helpful
your
against
back
the
muscles relax, the spine realigns, discs rejuvenate, and nerve roots are relieved of painful pinching.
Been on working for 34 years now. My back was pretty bad. Now I got on the
I gotta
teeter
move him out of there
and
now.
I felt it like just alleviating, just stretching. Now I can go out, I can go play basketball, go walking with the kids. I'm a new person. My back feels the best it's ever felt.
FDA
How
registered
do you
as a
still
Class
have
1
so
medical
many
device,
moves?
teeter inversion tables are indicated for temporary relief of
To
back
make-
pain, muscle tension, degenerative disc
He
disease,
takes my
spinal
night.
degenerative joint disease,
Ooh.
spinal stenosis, herniated disc,
Still
spinal
trying to
curvature
get
due
my
to tight muscles, sciatica,
whatchamacallit.
muscle spasm, and facet syndrome.
Biggest difference the teeter table has made in my life is that I have physical freedom. It helped me so much you have no idea. I'm not worried that I'm going to
Looks
be
in the way.
limited by my back pain.
The teeter is easy to use. Simply set it, lock in, recline, and relax. Some other brands rely
Fine.
on gimmicks like
I'll
padded
take a
beds.
draw.
Your body sinks into the foam, stopping the
Why
decompressive
were we
stretch
only
needed
42
to
minutes
achieve
strong?
pain-relieving results. The Fit Spine features flex technology,
play again.
a patented bed that enhances decompression for a better stretch and better results.
Over 3 million people have put their trust in Teeter to feel better, move better, and live better. I'm in my 80s, and I feel great.
Here we go.
We're making it easier than ever to try the teeter in your own home with 0 down and 0% interest only at
Great.
tryteeter.com.
So he's gonna be
Experience the
offensive.
life-changing benefits for yourself.
I like
If
starting
you
on
don't
this
love it,
side.
just send it back with our 60-day return
Haven't been
guarantee.
because I keep
Go to
having to go
tryteeter.com to
first.
start your journey to
But I
back
don't
pain
think
relief
it's gonna be.
today.
Oh shoot.
America deserved an honest
Get out of here.
election. This is what they got. Suitcases of ballots in Georgia. Out-of-state voters and illegal aliens voting. Dead people voting in Wisconsin. Poll watchers denied access in Pennsylvania. Trump votes discarded in Arizona. And clerks facing felony charges in Michigan.
Report
The evidence is
evil.
overwhelming. Contact your legislators and governor today.
Spam.
Demand they hear the evidence. Text DEMAND to
Slash.
88022.
Each year, Americans
Spam.
waste $21 billion by overpaying on car insurance.
Time
That's why
out.
I went to thezebra.com. Because while every company claims to save you money on car insurance, the Zebra shows you who actually can.
Compare car insurance for free at thezebra.com today.
What would you do if you won big
We
money
proceed
from
to
Publishers
report.
Clearinghouse? February 28th, win $5 grand a
what do you
week for
do?
your life. Then after that, someone
I'll
you
bring my
choose
pony
gets
out
$5
here.
grand a week for their life. Enter now at
Killed that one.
PCH.com.
Closed captioning brought to you by Super Beets, a superfood breakthrough for
Super
blood pressure
Beets.
support.
The makers of top-selling Super Beets comes new Super Beets Heart Chews. Do something good for your blood pressure and your energy. Love your results or your money back.
News breaks every minute, every day. You need the app, the Newsmax app. Find it free on your smartphone store. Then watch us anytime, anywhere.
Welcome back to Summer
If
Nation.
he does
I'm Michelle
take my
Malkin.
pawn,
Dr.
I can
James
take his
Tadaro
knight.
is a Columbia University physician and a leading member of America's Frontline Doctors. Thank you, Dr. Tadaro, for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Michelle.
I want to pull up a tweet that you put out this week because it's very pertinent to our year-end review of censorship and what I'm calling the year-end wrong think. And you said, Twitter is on a rampage, suspending contrarian accounts on COVID, regardless of credentials, PhDs, MDs, etc. History has shown that censorship, especially in science, is never viewed positively and almost always results in a net loss of human life. This is an incredibly profound point because it's not just run-of-the-mill censorship we're talking about. It's censorship of views and information that literally amount to life and death matters. Your thoughts?
Yeah, so, if we take a step back, I think one of the greatest failures throughout the pandemic this year has been the failure of World Health experts to admit what they don't know about COVID-19. And this ties very much into censorship because we're relying on those organizations to determine what content should be censored and what should not. And really, we've seen this from the beginning of this pandemic. And I think that the World Health Organization really set the precedent for this in January when they announced that there was no human-to-human transmission of novel coronavirus, which is amazing that after their investigation of perhaps the most contagious virus in modern history, their conclusion was no human-to-human transmission. And there have been a plurality of instances, things that we've learned about the pandemic since then that should not have been censored and would have saved lives if it was able to be openly discussed and not either ridiculed by the scientific community, removed from social media platforms, or blocked from being published in scientific journals.
Right, and
No thanks.
You're right. It's every aspect of this from essentially day one, and we really don't even know when day one really is if you think about it. But these World Health experts, what I call the public health industrial complex.
I know my pawn can't move. I'm trying to unselect it and see where this guy can go.
Made pronouncements with 100% absolute certainty, and anybody who questioned it was wrong. Whether it was the provenance of it, the spread of it, how serious it was, and of course the treatments. And of course, you have had firsthand experience with censorship in this regard. Can you tell our viewers a little bit more about your adventures with hydroxychloroquine, Google, all of it?
Sure. Before maybe going to that for a couple of seconds, let's just take a look, since this is kind of the year-end review, at each of these brief steps of missteps, I would say, by these World Health experts. And if we take a look at masks, first of all, remember back in March, they told you not to buy masks. Don't wear masks. It's silly to wear masks. And then shortly thereafter, total flip-flop to the other extreme, where you must wear masks indoors, you must wear masks outdoors, you must wear masks inside your own home in some states, otherwise you will be penalized or fined. When in reality, we've seen mask mandates for many months now, and we're still having coronavirus cases surging in many states with some of the highest compliance rate of masks. And the reality is, probably if you wear the right type of mask, potentially an N95 or better, and you wear it properly, that may reduce the spread of COVID-19. And then moving on to hydroxychloroquine, as you mentioned. When I co-authored the first paper that was kind of widely disseminated on hydroxychloroquine as a potential candidate for COVID-19, the normal response, the prudent response by World Health experts would have been, well, let's take a look at this medication and let's study it further. But in the meantime, we know this is a safe drug that was FDA approved 65 years ago, and we'll leave it between a physician and their patient to determine if this is a good treatment option for COVID-19 patients. Instead, again, the World Health experts went confidently to the extreme, and their message was amplified by the mainstream media that hydroxychloroquine is actually dangerous. And so what we saw was, for the first time in history, governments across the world, governors in the United States, prohibit physicians from actually prescribing hydroxychloroquine to those patients. Our Google document, our article on hydroxychloroquine, was pulled down by Google within 2 weeks after it was published, and then they later released it back to the internet a few months later in July. And we've seen this for infection fatality ratios censorship. We've seen this for multiple aspects of this pandemic.
I don't know why I'm putting this guy with.
So what's incredibly daunting is that
I'm gonna get screwed up by one of these books.
The odious censorship issues here is that the actual criminalization, right? It goes beyond ostracism. It goes beyond labeling dissenting information, misinformation. We have doctors who are losing their jobs for voicing dissenting views. And so my question is, how is it, given that, I mean, I've pronounced the obituary.
That was a mistake.
Expert credibility. That's what this year was all about. How are these institutions ever to restore that credibility when they're making enemies of the very people who would provide, that
I'm
path
still the
to,
favorite.
restore trust
in
everything that they say?
It will be a very difficult road for them for at least 50% of Americans because
I thought I was about to kill
no
him.
longer trust those institutions. I think the best way going forward, and this applies to social media platforms, this
You can
applies
take
to
my
academic medical journals,
if you want.
and this applies to the mainstream media, is
Hey
there
now.
needs to be an open dialogue without criminalization or
That's not very nice.
ostracization of physicians on treatment options, on the nature of this pandemic. If we can have that, and history has shown time and time again that uncensored, open discussion of science and medicine, that will lead to more integrity in science and ultimately save human lives. And history has never looked favorably upon those who censor science. It's never played out well for them.
Yeah, that's for sure. And good science is supposed to rest on things like transparency and sunlight and replicability. How can there
By
be
the way,
integrity if everything that they've done and how they arrived at
you
those
think
conclusions is shrouded in darkness? Well, Dr. Tadero, we appreciate your willingness and ability and vigilance in bringing sound science to social media.
Hey,
and
what?
People can follow you on Twitter. You're James Tadero, MD. Is that correct?
That's correct.
That's right. And we appreciate your time. Thank you so much and Happy New Year.
Again, thank you so much, Michelle. Take care.
You bet. We've got to take a quick break, and when we come back, Pedro Gonzalez of American Greatness will weigh in on the politics of wrongthink, mob rule, election censorship, and much
other
more.
night
Don't
is
touch
still
that dial.
in the way. Rook.
This country was made by tax rebels, freedom fighters, gold seekers, believers, lovers, and true patriots. We're Newsmax, and we're their heirs, and so are you. Newsmax TV, real news for real people.
Do you have any idea how your mattress affects your body and how well you sleep? Is it too hard or too soft, causing you to wake up with sore shoulders, back, or hips? Are you uncomfortable because you're too hot or too cold?
Arbitrary.
Now you can get the total body support you need and the better sleep you want with the new MyPillow mattress topper.
Hello, I'm Mike Liddell. When I invented my new MyPillow mattress topper, I made it to have everything you'd ever want in a topper. My mattress topper helps give you the support you need, helps relieve your pressure points, and regulates your body temperature for you as an individual. It comes with a 10-year warranty. You can wash and dry the cover. It's made in the USA, and I back it with my 60-day money-back guarantee.
My pillow topper delivers on its promise to give me a better night's
sleep.
sleep.
Now.
Call now to get your very own MyPillow mattress topper. Use the promo code and Mike will give you 30% off and 2 standard MyPillows absolutely free. Order now.
I personally guarantee it's going to change your bed into the most comfortable bed you'll ever own.
In the beginning was the Word,
and
the Word was with God.
Very many pieces left.
The same was in the beginning with God. All things were made by Him, and without Him was not anything made that was made. In Him was life, and the life was the light of men.
Get out of here, man.
Download the Pray.com app today.
When everything else around you fails, your house is your most important asset. But do you own it? Don't be so sure.
Homeowners are just not aware of how vulnerable they are.
Deborah thought she owned her house until the police showed up and told her she didn't.
I could not believe that we actually were getting evicted from our home that we did not sell.
Deborah's home was stolen by cyber criminals.
Identity protection is necessary, but it don't protect your house. They're hacking your deed. They're doing it all the time.
The FBI calls title and mortgage fraud the fastest growing white-collar cybercrime in America. And the next victim could be you.
Homeowners need to realize that they have power with home title lock.
The thing with home title lock is as soon as there was activity, they would notify me immediately.
Start your free 30-day trial right now, including a free home title scan, $100 value, to find out immediately if you're already a victim. Go to HomeTitleLock.com or call right now.
Bishop. Let's figure out how to lose. Oh, here, now you can't do anything. Hey! That was working. That's it, capturing the hang. Rook and protecting your own pawns by
Go to TotalGymDirect.com and check out the incredible deals.
It's time to forget your worries and escape to a place where the water is warm, the people are even warmer, and there are 1,000 worry-free moments waiting to unfold. Call 1-800-SANDALS.
Oh, hey, thanks.
Cardiologist recommended heart health supplement for people taking cholesterol-lowering statin drugs. I
over there on the Trovo.
Because it has 3 times better absorption than regular CoQ10. Cunol is the brand I trust.
David Perdue has been one of the toughest fighters for our America First agenda in Washington. And there's nobody in Washington that's more respected than David Perdue. Now, you know, a lot of people, friends of mine, say, let's not vote. We're not going to vote because we're angry about the presidential election. But if you do that, the radical left wins. You got to get out and vote. So get out and vote. Get out and vote.
I'm David Perdue, and I
approve this message.
Much more ahead here on Newsmax.
I want you all to know that we are fighting the fake news. That was just fake news. You are fake news.
Fake news is a real problem. That's
why millions turn to
Newsmax.
Well, actually,
not. You like Newsmax? I like it too.
Not since that's
still news for real people. Honest analysis.
What if I does this?
On the issues that matter most. No bias, no BS.
Oh wait, now I can move that one all the way down the middle.
Get the facts. Newsmax. Real news for real people.
Think I've got a rook. Go away, mister. Go away, mister.
Welcome back to Sovereign Nation. I'm Michelle Malkin. Pedro Gonzalez is senior editor at American Greatness. Pedro, thanks for joining us again here on Sovereign Nation.
Thanks so much. Rooks are so useless against knights.
You bet. So this is our year-end review, and I'm specifically focusing on the year in wrong thing.
Especially
and
in
I wanted to start out with you on what you can and can't say, what you weren't allowed and were allowed to say about the mob and anarcho-tyranny. We've had kids who were banished from their campuses for advocating for all lives mattering.
And this one too, while I'm at it.
George Floyd. I was suspended on Twitter for saying simply that violent criminal looters should be shot.
Queen,
we haven't had any crackdown on all of these platforms. What do you foresee for 2021, given how narrowly the discourse has been shut down and that Overton window shrinking?
I think things are going to get worse before they get better, and that's going to manifest as a culture that is more given to censorship. You're going to start seeing, I think, payment processors probably play a more active role in deplatforming people. Especially now also with the coronavirus pandemic, which is another element of this kind of
cancel culture. We don't have many fine moves left.
You're already seeing companies like IBM go all in on creating these so-called vaccine passports that will work in partnership with grocery chains and airlines to basically
I don't know, man. The best I can do is draw, apparently.
To show that you've been vaccinated. And so this is a kind of like next evolution cancel culture that will literally deperson people for not
I don't want to keep
things, but not
losing everything.
For not complying with
I don't
the
care.
way to
I want to be black
think
this time.
and behave in society. So I think that it's definitely, unfortunately, going to get worse, but it's important to acknowledge that so that we're not
Why am I
just
defending my
caught with
hanging
our
piece
hands
of
up
wood?
and kind of deer in the headlights at all times, basically.
Right. There is, unfortunately, this super, this sort of boomer mentality that we're still a free country, it's not as bad, and the real problem, as Nikki Haley went viral with this week, is socialism. What is it that is going to wake people up? I mean, we've had tens of thousands of people who've been purged from Facebook and Twitter and YouTube, and yet there's still this idea that other countries are worse.
I'm a teacher, not an executioner.
Well, I think that is actually probably the purpose of the GOP.
Oh wait, I can take his.
Conservatism
What
as it exists today is to kind of downplay and neutralize these dissident currents, right? Where people like you and others like you are raising alarms and pointing out how bad this is, and the fact that it's not going to change anytime soon.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's their role to kind of tell everyone that what people are saying
Mr. Queen
is not really what they're saying, and it's sort of like who are you going to trust?
Over there.
Your lying eyes are telling you that things could be worse, even though we're in the process of developing a social credit system. Actually, we basically already have a kind of social credit system. You had that story recently of a girl who was canceled because a student held on to a video for 5 years where she was rapping and said the N-word as part of the lyrics of the song, and that basically ruined her life. But, at least you don't live in a socialist country with an actual Chinese social credit system. Things could be so much worse.
Yeah, right. Ha. Of course, it's not funny to a lot of citizens out there who don't have, big political connections in Congress to take up their cases, and it's all interrelated. And, someone like Laura Loomer or Gavin McInnes or, sort of the early first sentinels of this kind of deplatforming are deplatformed everywhere, right? They can't get an Uber. They can't order food to be delivered to them. And that has sort of serious implications in the age of COVID as well. So, I highlighted in my monologue too that, many of these young people,
this real quick.
Not just college students, high school students, even middle school students,
in
have been
fact,
targeted by all of this. And there are very few institutions that are fighting on their behalf. How is
safely? Safely.
It's remedied by a new right. I think that this is really difficult because we have to find a way to kind of break through the ice. But that's really, I think, the only answer is a new kind of vanguard of people who are saying and proposing, saying what I think a lot of people know is true. They're just kind of afraid to acknowledge is true, and proposing new ideas, different ways of actually fighting back and pushing back. Because, as you pointed out, the go-to for the GOP and for kind of movement conservatism is basically just say that things could be worse. At least socialism, and that's really it. And then propose basically tax cuts for corporations that are actually bankrolling for this stuff. Because if you look at corporate donations, not just in terms of CEOs, but also like low and mid-level employees, a lot of these donations go overwhelmingly to the Democratic Party. So,
but of course,
the GOP is kind of a vehicle for the growth of progressive trends because of its pro-corporate policies. And I think that is probably the most fundamental thing that we need to fight against and to push back against, because all of this stuff really starts there. Because you just pointed out that it seems to be targeting children who are younger and younger.
I don't want to sacrifice either my bishop.
Initiatives. He's giving millions of dollars to push anti-Western, anti-white.
But his queen is pretty stuck.
It's a lot of really wealthy people like Mark Zuckerberg.
That one's not mine.
Like so I think this is probably one of the most important issues that a new emergent right needs to take up to outline this for everyone.
What?
Absolutely, and it's a great way to ring in
Screw
the
you,
new
man.
year, a call for a new right and something else
Screw
to
you,
emerge
man.
from the dead carcass of the establishment GOP. Pedro Gonzalez, always a pleasure to have you here on Sovereign Nation. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Thanks for having me.
That's all the time we have for today. Join us next week for another edition of Sovereign Nation.
Oh, I can't get up there without losing some. What are you doing with your bishop there?
Merry Christmas! Say it while you still can. Will they cancel Christmas next? Wait, what's that? What?
Christmas is probably not going to be possible.
Yeah, No! I'm Benny Johnson, and this is the Benny Report.
That's a horrible clip.
Happy Thanksgiving weekend. If you are a freedom-loving patriot,
Friggin' nights
you'd
in
be
my way,
forgiven
man.
for heading into the holidays with a chip on your shoulder. We are in a cold, bitter political moment in this country, colder than any winter cold front. Polls show that half of the electorate feel cheated this election for good reason. We've covered it extensively on this show. But there's something that no matter how hard they try, the corrupt ruling class can ever steal from you or cheat from you. Your birthright.
What?
You are an American. You are blessed. You are part of the heritage of the greatest country the world has ever known. Instead of getting twisted over the politics of the day, I wanted to begin tonight by stating this. America is a good country.
I can't remember what color I am anymore.
Country. You should be proud of her. You should be thankful to live here. These are the reasons that we are thankful to be Americans. Thanksgiving is a uniquely American holiday. It celebrates giving thanks to God for our survival. And we should thank God. The survival of this nation was never guaranteed. The original pilgrims in America starved to death. Life was hard. Many were killed by the brutal elements which hammered their thin cottages and small boats as they traveled here. They were considered lost. God provided.
That's not what I was trying to do. I thought that was my guy.
Was considered a loss.
Can't move his.
Many times. Odds were against them in every conceivable capacity. A weary George Washington prayed to heaven on his knees in Valley Forge. His troops lay scattered and freezing to death. Appeal to heaven was the tattered banner that was above them. God provided, and they gave thanks. At the Constitutional Convention, Ben Franklin spoke, God governs in the affairs of men, and if a sparrow can fall to the ground without his notice, is it probable that an empire can rise without his name? God provided. We got a country, and they all gave thanks. Abe Lincoln appealed to heaven as Confederate troops surrounded Washington, D.C., and pushed as far north as Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. The nation, at this time, was lost. Appeal to heaven. Miraculous victory at Gettysburg. God provided, and Lincoln gave thanks by setting aside the national holiday of Thanksgiving. That's where we get this holiday.
Yeah.
The day of thanks, this day of thanks, has followed American men and women across the West History. World wars, depressions, unparalleled booming prosperity. Our countrymen prayed before landing on the moon. Think about that. The actual heavens, appealing to heaven. America remains a nation with a deep connection. 90% of Americans believe in God or a higher spiritual power. This makes for a country of good people.
I can't tell if that's the
live, full of warm-hearted Americans. People who know that government is not God. God is God.
Okay.
Americans love and care for one another more than any other nation on earth. America's the most generous nation on earth. As a people, we reached into our pockets and donated over $500 billion in the last year.
Important.
We give to others. We clothe people who live thousands of miles away from us. Feed people who we've never met. Heal those who may not look like us or agree with us. They may even hate us. We don't care. Love thy neighbor is an important commandment. America is a good neighbor, by the way. Our exports are often better the lives of nearly every person on the planet. Cars, flight, cell phones, internet. It's just a small list. America brought the world out of proverbial technological Stone Age. Pax Americana has summoned forth the sharpest decline in extreme poverty the world has ever seen. The numbers are staggering. Look at America take the lead in crushing poverty. Every other nation followed. The population of the planet was lifted out of poverty in a single generation as American ideals remade the world.
To castle move your king, choose base to the left. Castle male leader on his king is never moved.
If you get a flat tire or need a home-cooked meal, there's nowhere else on the planet you would rather be. We are a happy people, some of the happiest on earth. That's because we live in one of the most beautiful countries in the world. We care about the gods.
Other zipper. Too many zippers.
Of land in America is protected national park. That's bigger than most countries. They are gorgeous, by the way. If you're ever feeling stressed out about politics, go to a national park. Unlike other city, wasteland, global superpowers, America makes a staggering GDP without ravaging our national beauty. Perhaps that's why Americans are proud. In spite of everything that has happened to us this year in 2020, over 70% of Americans are proud or extremely proud to be Americans. Americans are a happy, generous, proud people.
I still don't know how that works. It says you have to move your king.
God provided. And that is why we, as Americans, give thanks. It's been a crazy year, but we should still be thankful. My next guest will tell you exactly why he himself is thankful. He has a lot of reasons. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
I don't know. It's not something I would ever do. Let's move this guy.
Can you imagine playing with newborn baby pandas? Ever wish you could walk on the rings of Saturn just to see if they'd hold your weight?
What?
There's some lessons you can only learn by doing, by seeing, by being there. The Great Courses Plus brings the world to you.
You gonna let me move it?
Open the door to thousands of topics and deep insights from the best and the brightest. Start your free trial now.
That would be cool.
What does it mean to devote your life to the truth? Does it mean investigating communist subversion here in America? Does it mean exposing the deadly fentanyl crisis in the Midwest? Or spending late nights and covering deep government corruption? Because at a time when America's traditional values are under attack, it's the responsibility of righteous journalists to uphold truth and tradition.
Put him back where he was. Good grief.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and as you know, my passion is to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. That's why I created my new Giza Dreams bed sheets. I started by using the world's best cotton called Giza. It's only grown in a region between the Sahara Desert, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Nile River. It's ultra soft and breathable, but extremely durable. I guarantee you they'll be the most comfortable sheets.
Hey, he finally moved
I
that.
do not like my sheets. I love my Giza Dream sheets.
Call or go to
big mistake, boy.
Right now to take advantage of Mike's limited
Wait,
time
what?
offer. Use the promo code on the screen, and when you buy one set of Giza Dream Sheets, Mike will send you another set absolutely free. That's right. Buy one set of Giza Dream Sheets and get another set absolutely free. Choose from a variety of colors in solids, stripes, and new flannel sheets. Order now.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit mypillow.com.
Are you ready for the Biden presidency? The man who founded America's most successful independent financial research firm 20 years ago says there's one critical money move you must make right now. Few believed Porter Stansberry when he predicted the collapse of
You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
and GE, just to name a few. And few believed him when he went public.
Probably
The
wanted
COVID
that
stock
right there.
market crashed bottom and said to expect a huge rally.
still
But in each case, Porter
sort
Stansberry
of
was proven
blocking him.
exactly right. And now, Porter Stansberry
How about that?
says a major shift is coming to our financial system and our economy, and that it's critical for you to take one simple step to protect and grow your money in the years to come.
Crap.
Get the facts. Visit
How
the
about that?
website shown below to see Porter Stansberry explain, on camera from his corner office, the one simple financial step you
That's
must
not good. He
take
can-
before Biden moves into
Well,
the
it
White
can't
House.
because my rope's
Again,
right there.
go to the website on your screen before the next administration takes office.
try to move this somewhere.
The 2020 election is over, and Newsmax, one of America's leading news outlets, is conducting a national poll. We're asking you if you think President Trump should concede the election to Joe Biden. Press reports call Biden the winner, but President Trump's supporters still have questions. Newsmax wants to know what you think. It just takes a minute to vote.
So that's
Go to Texas
his.
now and register your vote. Let America
It's not
hear your
doing
voice.
much over there. Or we can go this way.
Despite the crazy year that we have had, there's still so much to be thankful for in America. My next guest is here to talk about what he is thankful for this year. He is a patriot. He is a former police officer. His name is Brandon Tatum, and he's the founder
You won't dare
of the Tatum
come
Report.
down there.
Thank you for coming on, Brandon.
Oh wait, that's my people.
What's up, Benny?
So this
Get outta here.
Thanksgiving, America seems to be under attack, more or less, from the radical left. You've covered that a lot at the Tatum Report. Can you fill our audience in on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's been crazy out there. You know, I went to the rally in D.C., and we have an investigative reporter, Drew Hernandez, who was on the scene getting footage that the mainstream media would never cover. So we got that footage. We were able to present it to people. I was physically there, so I could tell the story of how beautiful it was to see all of those patriots there in one place supporting the President of the United States of America. And then after everybody leaves, the cowards come out, Antifa, and then they try to attack Trump supporters
not
as they're
falling
walking
for
their
that.
children,
Dr.
walking
Wolf's
with their
silent.
children along the streets, eating at restaurants.
He's
And that's
up
pretty
to
much what
something.
happened. But it's a sad day when you see the mainstream media not talking about the violence of Antifa on innocent Trump supporters.
That's right, and I have something to admit to you. I hate to do this
Oh, I
here
can't
live
move
on
that 'cause I don't be
television,
in
but
check.
I did see you.
Huh.
I didn't come up to you because I would have been probably number 500 in line for a selfie. And so while I saw you, the line for the selfie with Brandon was longer than the line
I don't have a bishop.
fraudulently vote for Joe Biden in Philadelphia. I had to ask, what was your experience? You were there.
Black.
Was this what the media
upon.
made it out to be? Is this was this a
I'll lose my
rabid,
night.
angry, filled march? Or what was your experience?
It's alright.
No, I
I
mean,
didn't need it.
I brought my wife with me. My wife is pregnant. You know, I would never bring my wife in an environment where she would be in danger. But
It's
it
my
wasn't a dangerous
bro.
environment. We were there. We were having a good time. I actually saw your wife there and your beautiful child. And everybody was having a good
What
time.
just
man.
happened?
People were just hanging out, enjoying fellowship with other conservatives and, you know, supporting our president. There were people from all walks of life there. Black, white, Asian, gays for Trump, Latinos for Trump. You name it. Everybody was there having a peaceful time. It was a great event. It was more like a family get together than so much of a rally.
That sounds like the America I want to live in, where people can peacefully
Crap.
and redress their government of grievances. That's the First Amendment right there. You're a former police officer. What's your take on the violence that actually occurred at this march? Should the people who committed that violence be called domestic terrorists?
100%. I mean, anybody can look up the definition of terrorism. Is when you are using force or you're intimidating people to push a political agenda. And that's exactly what Antifa is doing. The funny thing is that the media will never cover it fairly to let the people know how violent and vicious they are and how this is a coordinated scheme working on behalf of the Democratic Party. I was there. I saw Antifa collect
What's up,
together
people on
in
the
a
live and
group
Periscope?
of mindless individuals. And they had a police escort that escorted them to a position where they can get into conflict with Trump supporters. I saw police officers everywhere in D.C. Every street was covered in police officers. Now, how those police officers did not intervene on behalf of Trump supporters getting assaulted by Antifa is beyond me. We had to go through a checkpoint just to get to our hotel. We were asked every street we got on, where are you going? Are you going this way? But they couldn't stop Antifa from going downtown or at least to the Black Lives Matter Plaza, assaulting people and causing mayhem. That's just strange to me. And I wish that these things would change. They will loosen the hands of law enforcement and allow them to enforce the law fairly on all citizens.
Brandon, you've had an incredibly successful year. Your site is blowing up. What you're doing is God's work, truly. You've been a police officer. You're a patriot. Why are you thankful to live in America on this Thanksgiving?
Why is it a rook now?
Well, for one reason, this is one of the only places that you can openly and freely worship God. You can go to church and worship God.
Wait,
even
he
during
killed
the
it.
pandemic, at least in our state, we can still go to church.
And I'm not white
We can
this time.
still do those things that really help our faith and handling some of these things that we've gone through this year. But man, God has been a tremendous blessing. I'm still alive. I've met an incredible amount of wonderful people. My business has done very, very well. Our site is up. Patriots are moving in the right direction. And I honestly believe that the President of the United States will be real.
There. I'm still taking my pawn. No! Entirely out of option. Well, can't afford to lose that. Should be able to turn this one into a queen now. Hey now. Aw, you suck. Can't even get that out of the way. I'm just going after my pawn again. Of course, this is in the wrong spot again. If I don't lose my pawn, it didn't help at all. I still can't make him. How about that? I guess there's a way. Maybe get him in the corner somehow. Man, I thought that was it. Did I actually win that time? Perfect moves. What are you going to teach me next? You're still teaching me about hanging pieces? Go home. What? You mean this isn't free? Screw you, Dr. Wolf. I guess we'll keep playing this way. There's always more to learn. Yum, 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 yum. Oh, shoot. Don't want to move it over there. Or over there. I think there's still space right there. That was stupid of you, Dr. Wolf. No matter how you square it. I gotta save my bishops for later. Because they're by far my most useful. It's Kevin Sorbo.
Yes, I have been noticing everyone here watches with glee as you lay the Herculean smash to many of these tyrant governors. Talk me through this. What is it like?
Well, you just get tired of the hypocrisy with it all. That's what drives me absolutely crazy. You know, Governor Gruesome just got busted the other day because he's out having dinner with a bunch of friends and they're not practicing social distancing. And I mean, this whole COVID thing, I don't
hey now, what are you doing with that?
Has it hit a lot of people, but the majority of people that are dying from this, and it's very sad, people with pre-existing conditions. Everything I'm reading about it is still saying they're over 80 years of age with pre-existing conditions. Show me the facts on people that are healthy and strong. You can't hide from a virus, for one thing. I'm in Minnesota here right now doing a speaking event tonight.
Amen to that, brother.
Down the state for
trying to figure out which one I wanted to kill that with.
Restaurants, gyms, where we all need to be in.
So I want to use this because I don't want to move my pawn from its lane.
What they do is opposite of what should be done to fight this thing, and you don't quarantine healthy people. So I'm going to fight back to these guys.
They won't let me do that.
Give me a break with all this stuff, you guys.
Why?
Let's be more logical about this. When I see a mask on a 4-year-old little girl, to me that's absolutely ridiculous, and that's
I don't want to get my thing out.
Yeah, as someone who has been famous
Good
for
at letting
playing
me do it
Hercules, for being in peak
now I'm in check though.
This has got to be bananas for you.
I guess
to
that's
watch
why I want my queen out.
Professionals in the Western world say the way that you stay healthy is to lock yourself indoors and get fat. That seems like a wildly irresponsible thing to tell hundreds of millions of Americans.
Look at all the doctors that are coming out and saying the
Move my queen
opposite of what we should be doing. And yet
further,
you
just
get
watch
right
me.
away. They get torn down. Yet their Facebook takes them off, Twitter takes them off. I hate to get all Oliver Stone and get all conspiratorial here, but really, what is going on? You want to wipe millions of people's lives, millions of businesses out there. A mom and pop grocery store.
What if I do this?
Generations not essential. Walmart is. Who decides on this?
Easy.
It's absolutely crazy.
Boy, get out of here. Oh, I can't
So,
go down there.
what has life been like inside of Hollywood? What is
How about
the
that?
universe
Wait,
of
I don't want to do
California
that.
seems to be better served by just breaking off from the country and floating off
Oh,
into the Pacific
can't do that.
Ocean? Because it just seems like a totally separate
See, move
country.
your king out there because you
Life
can't
like there in
lose.
the industry,
You can't
in the industry that you
lose
know
it
so well.
unless you
You
want
know, it's
to.
great. They can do that now.
They
Because I
won't let
moved
you.
out of California 2 years ago. I live in Florida. So
genius.
I'm one of those 200 people a day leaving LA County. You would think that would be enough to make the governor and local, political leaders look at it and go, man, maybe we're doing something wrong here. And now I heard they're going to raise the state tax from 13.5 to 16.9. That's going to keep more people in there for sure. So for me, thank God, I do independent movies. I mean, that's something that at least I'm grateful to keep on doing. Things have shut down like crazy. I did just shoot 8 episodes of a new sitcom called The Potwins. That's coming up next year. And I do have an amazing movie that starts tonight. And people got to go check this out. It's a documentary. It's called Against the Tide. Go to againstthetide.movie. Look up the link. Look up the trailer. Throw in your zip code. It'll show you what we're showing. And this is something we need to look at because it's all about proving God in the world of science. And more than anything in our world right now, we need to find faith and hope, redemption, love, and laughter. Right now, Hollywood and the mainstream media and the politicians we put in office, so shame on us. We are
I ain't worried about
living
that.
in a world of hate and anger and divisiveness.
Queen.
You've done some remarkable
Queenstown.
films on the subject of God.
Has
It
one
seems more and more that in
mission.
American society, government is supplanting God,
Yeah.
which was the precise opposite of what was intended in this
I
country.
actually want
People
to
are
put
making
this
government their God. That's how you get people all weepy and crying in the streets when
out of the way.
political candidate of the day, the flavor of the day, doesn't win.
Oh, God.
Can you speak to God,
Why didn't you take
America, and that history?
If he does, I can kill him, so I guess I'll wait
In the documentary?
to worry about.
Yes.
This documentary is amazing. It's Dr. John Lennox. John Lennox is an apologist. He's a retired math professor from the University of Oxford.
Better yet, you can take my
debated all
weapon
the great
stuff.
atheists of the world, like Singer
What was that?
and Dawkins and Hitchens. And what he does, you're going to see a lot of his through the decades, his debates. But we spent 3 weeks in Oxford, England, 2 weeks in Israel, following the footsteps of Jesus. It was an amazing
One reason I
educational
put that
travel log for me as well. But he defeats his opponents with love and laughter and a Winnie the Pooh kind of voice. And he's just a class act. He's just a wonderful human being. He doesn't hate. He doesn't project all this anger that you see coming in from the other side. And I hope people take a look at this movie. I hope they look at Before the Wrath, which is the #1 streaming movie on Amazon right now, Christian movie. Before the Wrath, set in the book of Revelation. And then I have a new movie coming up early next year called Miracle Needs Pets.
Put him back where he was.
I'm
He
staying
looks pretty
busy.
safe back.
I don't know if it's sad to me to have a conversation about people getting angry.
He does that, I can.
It's the holiday
Kill
season,
him
and
still.
many Americans are finding
Can't
and
move
looking
this guy
around the
anywhere,
country
right?
and troubled. What are you thankful for this holiday season, and why should our viewers be
So
thankful
the
to live
bishop
in
is
America?
going to do some damage.
Well, you look at people that now say socialism is a good way to go in this country. You look at all these Antifa gangs, you see people attacking private property, public property, store owners. We're hitting people with tire irons and belts and shooting people from different points of view. You know what? Nobody's taking votes from Key West down to Cuba. There's nothing great about socialism and communism. People out of North Korea can't wait to get out of South Korea.
Well, you don't
There's
do
people out of China. I golfed with a friend here in Florida. They had to go in the basement. They had to hide their church for China.
What happened?
He now lives in America. And he's so grateful to be. I tell people
I didn't
all
think
the
he
time,
could go over there.
you have to find that hope. You have to find that life. You have to find that light out there. Two good things out of COVID happened. One is public education is on the downfall, which is a good thing because we need to wake up there. Homeschooling is on the rise. And a lot of people that were looking for hope, looking for light,
Yeah,
they're
it
going
is.
online now because churches are shut down. And they're looking for answers that way. They're saying, okay, I was always afraid to go to church, but now in the privacy of my home, I can go online and I can plug in sermons across the country and find a church that fits me. And
Maybe I can get rid of this night now.
Fear is horrible. I get it. But people in their fear are now looking for answers and looking for hope.
Oh wait, no, I don't do that.
Yeah, I
gotta-
really believe that one of the most insidious things that have happened in this season is that people
Gotta
are starting
pay
to
attention
look to the government as
the other
God,
direction.
and God is God, and
Can't do that either.
that is what Thanksgiving is all about. Giving thanks for the existence of America,
What
because
if
against all odds, this
Oh, I
country
still can't do
still
that.
exists, and that's pretty impressive.
You know, our forefathers are flipping over in their graves. Trust me, this is not the way they set up America to be.
This
And you're right. This. Thank God this country still is as good as it is, but we got to
Good. I was waiting for you to do that.
That's right. That's right. Keep fighting. You heard it from Hercules. Thank you, Kevin, so much for joining me. Really appreciate it. Thank you for joining me. That does it for us here at the Benny Report, our Thanksgiving special. America is the greatest country in the world. America is worth fighting for. So keep put it up there. Keep criticizing. Keep thinking. Keep fighting. We here at the Benny Report are fighting right along with you.
Your queen.
Be thankful. See you next week.
I'll leave this right there. Why doesn't it take my picture? You've hit the nail on the head.
And welcome to The Count. I'm Tom Basile. As we head into the first full week of 2021, the nation heads into an unprecedented series of events that will shape our politics for the foreseeable future. Nancy Pelosi fighting for her political future. President Trump preparing for a critical rally in Georgia. Two races that will determine the balance of power in the Senate and what could be a historic electoral showdown in Congress. Just today, Texas Republican Senator Ted Cruz announced that he and a dozen other senators will be joining a growing number of lawmakers who will object to Wednesday's certification of Joe Biden's binding electoral college. 12 senators and at least 140 House members have now joined that fight. Earlier tonight, Vice President Mike Pence said he, quote, welcomes the efforts in the House and the Senate to raise objections and bring forward evidence on January 6th. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's chances of holding onto her seat are also looking slimmer as she's doing a lot of last-minute scrambling to get the support that she needs to remain Speaker. And on the first anniversary of the death of their top military leader this weekend, Iran is threatening to kill President Trump while calling for revenge. We have a full lineup of guests, including former acting director of national intelligence and former U.S. ambassador to Germany, Richard Grinnell, President Trump's personal pollster and CEO of McLaughlin and Associates, John McLaughlin, former RNC national spokeswoman, Liz Harrington, and executive director of the National Diversity Coalition for Trump, Bruce LaBelle, Congressman-elect Madison Cawthorn is here, along with syndicated national radio host Sebastian Gorka and many others. And our
I don't know what to do.
Mark Halford is also with us and is going to join us live for the next 2 hours to discuss all of this and much more. Mark, let me go to you first. Are you with us? All right.
Here, Tom.
Great. You know, what an incredible first week of 2021. Initial thoughts on these 4 days and what they bring for us.
Well, Tom, as you said, these are big days, Sunday through Wednesday at least, and probably beyond. I think the point I'd want to make is while these issues and these face-offs appear like they'll be climactic, we could be seeing overtime and continuation of all these issues. Nancy Pelosi may be elected Speaker, but her narrow majority and the implications of that will be a story all year. The Georgia races could easily go into the kind of legal and political and public relations overtime we saw in the presidential race. And of course, whatever happens in counting of the electoral college votes, we are going to see jockeying and the fallout from that. Many are saying this issue will divide the Republican Party into at least 2 factions for a good long while.
Mark, just a quick question for you on Nancy Pelosi. There's a lot of talk that a couple of members of her conference who are not going to support her. She's got several members that may not actually be there tomorrow. And what are you hearing about how how this may shake out tomorrow?
It will be close. I think that you can't predict travel plans. You can't predict someone perhaps having developed some health issue, obviously including related to the pandemic. I think the point that's under-discussed is that while there are some folks who have said they might not vote for Nancy Pelosi for Speaker, or that they will not, I believe part of Nancy Pelosi's confidence is that she has private assurances from at least some of those folks that if their votes are needed, they will take what will be something of a political risk for them and support Nancy Pelosi in order to make sure she gets the margin. So she is confident. She's one who usually bluffs, so this will be close. But I think she's got a few votes in her back pocket if she needs them.
And of course, she's the Speaker, so she doles out those committee assignments. There are a lot of different carrots that she can offer members of her conference to ensure that she gets the numbers. But the idea that she's coming down to onesies and twosies here is very, very different in terms of her situation, her political situation, than just a couple of years ago.
Oh, my pawns are in the way.
Well, she was challenged the last time. Some people unhappy with her leadership. And of course, if there were a full accounting, you could imagine some Democrats saying, look, we told us we would pick up seats in the House of Representatives. They have, surprisingly to most, lost seats to the Republicans. And so her margin is narrower, and there could be a broader questioning of her leadership, but there hasn't been. Her problem is not a broad questioning. There's no one standing to oppose her, as has happened in the past at times when she's run for Speaker. She's running, as she said, to some extent against the pandemic, but to some extent just with that narrow margin and the variables at hand. As you pointed out, as Speaker, she does have a lot of power. That back pocket gets filled because she's able to exercise discipline. But she is, whether you agree with her politically or not, she's an extraordinarily good tactician and legislature and leader. She understands how to listen to the folks in the Democratic Party in the House. And so she's going to face a tough situation. And as I said, even if she's reelected, you are going to see agonizing decisions that she's going to have to make in the new Congress in order to keep that majority. And that assumes that she doesn't lose more members for whatever reason. That assumes there are no party switchers.
Right.
She's going
to tired of playing chess.
All right. Thank you, Mark. We're going to talk to you throughout the course of the evening. Appreciate it.
Great to be here.
Now, someone who knows a lot about the many threats faced by the White House and the president is the former acting director of national intelligence and former U.S. ambassador to Germany. And he's here now to also talk to us about these election challenges. So before we get to talking about sort of the stuff that was in your wheelhouse when you were in government, which is our national security, I do want to get your thoughts, Ambassador, on the president's battle to raise election integrity issues and what you expect to see on Wednesday in Congress.
Well, first of all, let me just take a second and comment on my friend Mark Halperin and Nancy Pelosi, if you will let me. I absolutely hope that she is the speaker, because if we want to take over the House, the best way is to keep Nancy Pelosi right there. I think her better days are behind her, and she's messing up constantly. So let's keep her as speaker, and Republicans should give her all the votes she needs to stay right where she is so that we can take over in 2 years. I think that would be a good plan. As for Wednesday, look, I think that the president is in a really good position here because he's won on this issue. Everybody knows that this election was full of fraud. We've had so many examples. I mean, the Democrats have moved from, there's not any fraud to there's not widespread fraud. And now the new mantra is, well, there's not enough fraud to overturn it. And so I think that the president has done a good job of showing that we have had massive problems. Look, I ran the Nevada count afterwards, and I can tell you that 42,000 people voted twice in Nevada. That's more than the margin. And every single time we've tried to bring this forward to the courts, they've just been largely dismissive. And so I think that the rule of law and the process is that on Wednesday we get to showcase this to the politicians, and let's see where the chips fall. But I know that we've been preparing the case, and it's just going to take open ears and open hearts to understand what the evidence is.
What's your reaction to Senator Cruz's announcement today about this emergency audit that they're proposing?
Look, I think Senator Cruz has done a remarkable job of really listening to the base, listening to people who are really outraged, and he is trying every possible legal effort to highlight this fraud. And so we just have to have people that are willing to listen. What happened to us, specifically, I keep going back to Nevada, but it's because I know it so well. What happened to us in Nevada was just outrageous. I mean, people would not even listen to the evidence. And look, we get into the weeds on this, but there was